When we are born and brand new, we are like a clean, blank slate. As humans, we have a unique ability to understand language and cognition. From a very young age, we start to create derived relations and create triangles of thought. Here is an example. This is a zinky fonk. This is a zinky fonk. A zinky fonk goes, wee! A zinky fonk goes, wee! What goes, wee? And what is this? So when we see and hear, we spontaneously create an extra derived relation. So when you see a zinky fonk, you will probably hear wee, and when you hear wee, you will probably think of a zinky fonk. We also learn other relationships, before and after, cause and effect, bigger and smaller, less and more. As these triangles of thought evolve, we stop seeing ourselves as separate from them, and we start to see the world through them. These networks only ever expand. There is no undo button, and they continue to grow at a vast rate until we can no longer see ourselves and our thoughts as separate. We think we are these thoughts and beliefs. And where do the majority of these thoughts and beliefs come from? From our parents, teachers, family, friends, enemies, society, the media. Anything we watch, read or hear can be added to our network of thoughts and beliefs. So these thoughts may not always be helpful. In fact, a lot of these connections we make can be harmful or damaging to us. These kinds of thoughts can lead to emotions like shame. And because we often find painful emotions like shame too hard to bear, we try to avoid this pain by blotting them out with alcohol, drugs, overworking, or avoidance of life in general. But these never solve the problem. They just make it worse, because then we have the original painful emotion, plus an addiction, plus painful thoughts and feelings and emotions about our addiction. So we have just added pain to our pain. Can you see the cycle? Our networks just get bigger and bigger and create a sticky web we can get stuck in. We all experienced early pain in varying degrees, and we all develop different ways of responding to it. That initial pain could have been not getting our basic needs met, basic needs like love, kindness, acceptance, empathy, or autonomy. We all develop patterns of thoughts, beliefs, and behaviours to deal with this early pain. These set of patterns or beliefs, thoughts and behaviours are not usually unique to us and can be loosely illustrated by these groups. A sense of superiority and grandiosity, vulnerability and abandonment, or acting out and being antisocial. But the most common pattern is that we feel trapped by these thoughts and beliefs. We believe that we are broken, unlovable, weak, or bad. And when we believe these thoughts as the truth, they can create a breeding ground for anxiety and depression. Because of the sticky nature of these webs, we can be blinded by our beliefs. We can also get stuck in other people's webs if their web feels familiar to us, even if they might not be healthy for us. So we can end up trying to care for or rescue others that treat us poorly, but ultimately as adults we can only be responsible for ourselves and our own happiness. So it is vital we can step outside of our own webs to see that we are not our web of thoughts and beliefs, and to recognise other people's too, so we don't get stuck there either. An easy way to imagine it is to imagine we all have our own wheelie bin, where we keep our own sticky webs of thoughts and beliefs and behaviours. But instead of seeing ourselves as separate from our bins, we all climb in, and most of us live our lives from inside the bin. We also label our bins. Can you see how this causes us problems? So how do we step outside our bins? Well, hopefully this video has helped give you some insights into how we create and get stuck in our own webs and bins. To step outside our webs and bins, we need to become the observer and see we are separate from our thoughts and beliefs. This is why mindfulness and meditation are so helpful. They allow us to become the curious observer of all our thoughts and beliefs. We start to see the web of stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. We can also learn ACT skills to unhook from difficult thoughts. Here are some useful ones. When you notice you are having an unhelpful thought, for example, I am a loser, try replacing it with, I notice I am having the thought that I am a loser. This separates you from your thought. Or try saying it in a funny voice, or see it being iced on a cake, or flying by on a banner behind a plane. We are not ridiculing our minds. We should love our minds. They are only ever trying to help us. Our minds are amazing at problem solving, planning, predicting, evaluating and creating. It's just that they are not great at solving emotional problems, which is why we need to be able to step outside the webs we have created to spot unhelpful or erroneous connections. We all have these sticky webs. We all have these labels we have created for ourselves. Most of these painful connections were created at an early age when we were too young to understand they were not helpful or true. So it is not our fault, and it is not our mind's fault. It was just doing what minds do, which is collecting and connecting information and trying to make sense of it all. But as adults, we are responsible for our choices and actions and behaviours, and have to accept the consequences of these choices, actions and behaviours. So when we are free from the web of thoughts and behaviours, we can see clearly. We gain psychological flexibility and can make better choices for ourselves and others. Our bin contains our history. They are part of us, and we can never get rid of them, and we wouldn't want to. They are full of great and helpful stuff as well as the unhelpful parts. And even when you do see we are separate from our webs and bins, we will all fall back into them from time to time because that is human nature. So don't beat yourself up when you do. It's just the more often we can climb back out again, then the better our lives will become. So because they are our history, could you be kind to the younger part of you that thought these painful messages were true? When we step outside our web and bins, we gain clarity of mind. When you have clarity of mind, you make better choices, and better choices change what you do and help you become the person you want to be and lead the life you want to live. I hope this helps. Lots of love. Your Auntie.